everyone. Hope you're doing well. When I have a bad day at work, one of the things I absolutely love to do, and it helps me relax, is I love to cook and bake. So today I had a really bad day at work. So tonight I'm making two things for you. I'm making a beef stew that will sit and simmer for a couple hours, and it will be good to go for tomorrow night. It's supposed to get cold here in Florida. And then I am going to make a homemade, from scratch, a molten lava cake. So the first thing I did is, you get a beef. You can get beef chunks. You can go to your store, get a beef, cut it up. You want to put it in chunks. And I put some oil in a pan, and you sear the beef on all sides. Turn it. I love this handy dandy thing. I bought it from Tempered Chef. I told you I love Tempered Chef. And it's basically a turning thing. It closes like that. You push the bottom, opens up, you turn it. And these are pretty much done. They're seared on all sides. You see they're nice and brown. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put them in a container, because you don't have to cook the beef all the way through, because it will continue to cook once I put it into the beef stew mixture. So I put this in for about 10-15 minutes. I seared it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off and put it into a separate container. Because I will be using it again. And once you put it in a separate container, just set it aside, because it will be going into this pan right here. And you can hear my oven is preheated for the molten lava cake. Go ahead and put those aside so they don't continue to cook. When they're in the mixture, they will continue to cook and they will get softened. It's 2 pounds of beef that you cook for about 10 minutes, sear it on all sides, just so it gets done on the outside and it's seared. Now in this pan, I'm going to transfer it over to here. Hello. I have cooking celery, onions, and carrots. And I have these on. They're cooking for about 8 to 10 minutes. And you really just want to cook them until they get soft. And these are pretty soft right now. What I like to do for my celery and I put some peppers in here. One thing about beef stew is you can really put anything you want in it, and it really turns out nicely. At my Publix, they sell pre-cut onions and peppers and celery, and I just went ahead and bought 2 of those. And they also sell pre-cut carrots, so I went ahead and put those in there. And you can see they're nice and moist. So what I'm going to go ahead and add into this is, I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper. I had to look at the recipe because I only make this once a year, basically, in the state of Florida, because it only gets cold once a year. And the nice thing is, last week I was able to make chili. This week I can make some homemade beef stew, and that will stay. And one of the things, when I do my beef, some people put flour in it. I do not put flour in it. Like I've told you guys before, my husband is diabetic, so I try to stay away from carbs. So I just go ahead and brown it up, sear it on all sides, and put it aside. I do not put flour in it. Some people do. And then I use 3 fresh things of garlic. I go ahead and slice them finely, because the last thing you want to do is one of your guests, to go ahead and bite into a big piece of garlic. I go ahead and put that in the mixture. And I put in tomato paste. You only need 2 ounces of tomato paste. This, I bought a 6 ounce, so basically a third of this. So I go ahead and I put 2 ounces of that in the mixture. Stir it up. Put that aside. And you cook this for about 2 minutes. I can't even see if anyone's on there. Then you go ahead and put in the beef along with the juices that have accumulated. When I put juices in, I usually just put the chicken broth in. Some people go ahead and put in wine. I do not put in wine. Can you guys see this? It calls for 6 cups of low sodium beef broth. I always like the low sodium type. I just don't like a lot of sodium. 1 container is 4 cups. Use the other half of this. At this point I put in 1 tablespoon of Worcester sauce. One cup of peas. I'm going to go ahead and put in some potatoes. Some people will go ahead and put a peppered chef knife, which I absolutely love. Some people will go ahead and put in, you can put in anything. You can put in pasta. Some people put in flour. I do not put in flour. Some people, if you want to thicken it, you can put in cornstarch. But I will tell you, the potatoes is an automatic thickener. It will, as it sits, the starch from the potatoes will thicken it up. Go ahead and chop them. You can chop them as finely as you want. About a pound of potatoes. I rinse them before I put them in. That's very important. Some people don't do that. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'll tell you, let it sit overnight. Now, if you're going to make this beef stew and you're gonna let it sit and you wanna have it as a meal in the same night, go ahead and add some cornstarch to it, and the cornstarch will go ahead and thicken it a lot quicker. I'm just going to put in the potatoes, and I'm gonna let it simmer for about 2 hours. And once it simmers for about 2 hours, I'm gonna pull it off the stove, and I will go ahead and put it in my refrigerator. It will be tomorrow night's dinner. But if you are making it for your family, say you come home from work, this is really easy to make. It takes about 25 minutes in total. So this is really easy to make. And you can just let it simmer. Say you say, hey, listen, it's been an hour. I want to feed my family. I got home from work. Throw some cornstarch in there. A lot of people use flour. I'm not a big fan of flour. I don't know why. I think it gets clumpy. So I would use cornstarch instead. 2 fresh sprigs of thyme. Now remember, when you're getting ready to feed this to your family, go ahead and make sure you pull it out. Some people don't. I fish out these sprigs before I feed it to my family. If you want a Q&A, you're welcome to go ahead and put questions in the comments. Then I put some Italian parsley in it. Now what you can do is you can finely chop the parsley, which is fine. This is fresh parsley. I always like to use fresh ingredients when I am cooking as much as possible. And if you're not going to chop up your fresh parsley and make it in fine, please fish it out so your family is not eating something this big, your loved ones. Go ahead and chop it up nice and fine. And you see I don't have any sprouts in here, and this will go ahead and cook up nicely. And I will tell you, it smells absolutely yummy. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my parsley in here. Now guys, whoever's on here, if you guys, I'm going to end this live stream and I'm going to start my molten lava cake. So if you guys want to stick around for that, you're welcome to. I will do that shortly. And there you have it. I will go ahead and put the recipe in the live stream. So if you guys want to make it for your family, you can feel free to make it. And this is pretty much it. And it will thicken as it sits and as I'm going to bring this to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on it and let it simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. And it will thicken. Let's see if I have any questions. I can barely see my questions. I can barely see this because I left my glasses in the courtroom. It smells really good. Some people are rude. Some people are not. You know what? I have just learned to deal with it. One of the things, like I said before, one of the things I absolutely love to do is cook. And it relaxes me, and I like to share it with people. And if people want to be rude, that's okay. You know what? I can take it. I'm a big girl. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a boil. I'm going to turn the heat up, and then in about 5 minutes after I clean up this mess, I'm going to go ahead and make my homemade, from scratch, molten lava cake. I'll see you guys if you want to join in about 5 minutes.